Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, Kevy went into Long McQuaid today. Not expecting to come home with another amp, but I did come home with my old Jackson JS32, which is on the wall, the blue one over there. Anyways, I kind of missed it. It got sold, I guess, or rented, I don't know. It was gone for a couple months. Came back and it's like, I kind of really like that guitar. Even though it's got a Floyd Rose, I am getting used to it. It's like, I wonder. So I spun her up on an amp, and actually it was one of these. So there will be a full review on this, but I wanted to do this today as an unboxing, not tell you anything. But this is called Acoustic Lead Series G20. And these things are only $100. They're actually listed as on special on the tag, so I don't know what the normal price is without checking the website, but $100. There was a Vox Pathfinder 10 watt amp that I was looking at. They won't be in until next week. I still may pick it up. I'll want to see it first. You know, which was kind of the thing. It was like, it said they had stock, but apparently not in our store. So they should have them sometime next week, apparently, in store at North Bay. So if that works out, I'm going to check one out, and if I like it, I'll probably buy it. Not like I need another amp yet, but I do want a Vox amp in the collection nonetheless. Anyways, so this is called Acoustic. Now, it's not an acoustic amp, and no, you cannot plug an acoustic guitar into this. It'll sound horrible. Not to mention, it could probably cause some damage to the amp doing that. But it does have a clean channel and a lead channel on it. So we're going to unbox this thing for you. The side of the box, though, 20 watt, 10-inch speaker. That's why it was so loud. I never even looked at the speaker size. I didn't even read the box until now on the side. So 10-inch speaker, wicked. 2 channels, high gain distortion, 3-band EQ with mid-shift switch, which is actually a little switch over here. You've got an MP3 input, so you can jam along with your favorite tunes, headphone output, and wide range of tones. So it's a solid state amp. It's not a tube amp. Now, Acoustic has been in business since 1967, so they've been around for quite a while, and so I'm pretty sure they should know what they're doing by now. I actually like the looks of the amp, to be honest. The manager pulled one out of the box for me specifically so I could try it out, because he said, I don't have the boxes, but I got these things, and he says it's not an acoustic amp, it's just the brand, and I'm like, okay, let's take her for a spin and see what we've got here. So, and we got some packing done to do here. Now, because I do teach guitar, and with the pandemic going on, it's been kind of hard. Students have been on and off depending on the lockout. And one of my students is returning, and they play both acoustic and electric, and I don't have a second amp. And because when I teach electric, I got to play my electric, obviously. And generally, my rule is I do supply access to an amp for students with electric guitars. So I thought, well, why not? And see what we got. Alright, so there's the back end of our amp. It is an open back, so that actually makes things a lot louder than what they may appear. Open back amps are actually quite nice, because you can actually do a lot of sound alterations just by leaning them up against a wall or getting them just even closer to a wall, that sort of thing. So you can generate some tones that you can't actually get at all out of a closed back amp. So there are a lot of benefits to open back amplifiers. So let me just get this plugged in here. I have no idea where I'm going to set this amp up in here, but I'm going to have to rearrange some stuff either way. Okay, so there's our amp. Now, let me just shift this over just a little bit. Then I can, there we go, now it's a little bit more balanced. So, we'll pull out the Gretsch, fire it up. So, it looks like our headphone jack is actually just a mini 1/8 inch input jack. same as the MP3 input. So this is not a programmable amp, it's not a modeling amp. It's just straight clean or straight dirty, which I really love basic amps. They usually have, in a lot of cases, a lot better sound or tone out of them than something like, say, my Boss Gitano, which is a lovely amp and I adore it, but there is a certain sound that you're not going to achieve on a amp that has, in this case the Boss has, like, you know, a bazillion pedals built in, right? And so even its clean channel, though it's really super clean, there's just a uniqueness. It's like the guys who are running tube amps, there's nothing better than the sound of a tube amp, right? And that's all, of course, up for debate and opinion. Everybody has their own. And I'm not against tube amps. I've had one before, and I'll probably have one again eventually. Okay, so our lead channel is the volume and the gain on this side, and right now it's on the clean. So bass, mid, and treble, of course, are shared between both. So it looks like we got some good response there. Now, I never messed with any of the dials on this amp at Long and McQuaid. They were just all at 12 o'clock. Recording this, by the way, on my camcorder so you guys get the more natural sound of my room and a more realistic sound of the amp, because I'm not processing the video at all. I cut the video, I throw it on my computer, zip it into the machine, and that's it. I don't bother with trying to make things sound like they're not. So let's go for the two pickups. And just the neck. Bridge. So that was the neck pickup, sorry. Bridge. Shift. Wow, that's a big difference in tone. So this is actually more fuller sounding without the switch on. On. A little more bitey. So there's 9 o'clock. I'm not cranking the amp up. The landlords are home, so. But we will have a video with the amp cranked up louder, but I'll have to wait until the landlords are gone for a couple hours. on the clean channel. Works really well with the Gretsch. I actually played this on the Jackson at the store because I originally went in there to go get my Jackson back, I guess you could say, because that is the exact same one. I hadn't intended on buying an amp specifically. I was thinking about the Vox, but it wasn't in stock. But then he showed me this and I played on it and it's like, that sounds really good on the Jackson. I will do a video on that at a later date. I gotta change the strings on it because they are like rusty and dead, so. But I got pretty fresh strings on the Gretsch here. You know, the only thing that this thing could be better at is if it had a reverb in it. That would be awesome. Alright, let's go to the dirty channel. So let's bring the gain up around, let's say 2 o'clock. So that's the bridge, so both pickups. Go for the neck. Not bad. Let's try that mid shift. We'll go backwards, neck back to bridge. That's out. The mid shift is really good on the clean channel for some stuff, but on the distortion, I guess it's a user preference thing, but that's with the mid shift. But you know, it's pretty clean even for the distortion. It's nice. It's not like muddied. This is both. Bridge. that mid shift really does thin things out a lot, and it seems to kind of drop the power a bit too, you know. Not necessarily a bad thing. Let's go full gain. So you can crunch it, you can get it nice and dirty. It's a nice little overdrive. Back to our clean. So they've got a booklet, of course, with this, where they give you some ideal settings. You see these with PV amps, right? For different rock settings, whatever. Suggested tone settings, they tell you. Now this is the GT20 version, or 20 watt. They also have the GT10 10 watt, the 35 watt, which is a FX, so it has effects in it. And the 100 watt FX has effects in it. This one just has straight clean or straight dirty, which is nice because if you're looking at putting a pedal board on, perfect amp. It just has a clean or it just has a dirty. Throw your clean channel on, crank her up, throw your pedal board in, and you're good to roll. So I give you some settings here for alternative rock and heavy metal settings, maximum gain, that sort of thing. So you can really get this thing to rip out really nice. So that's kind of cool that they give you some suggested settings. Oh, clean rhythm, country guitar. So they've got that, medium gain settings. These are like stuff that they found, I guess, sounded the best. Of course, they're not going to tell you what guitar they used, but you never know, right? Every guitar is different with its pickups. But, yeah, so it's digital sound processor for the FX models. So only your 35 watt and your 100 watt version are actually FX models with built-in effects. So you just dial in the effect that you want and away you go. So, anyways, for the GT20, we've got a 20 watt 6 ohm speaker. So changing a speaker, you're going to have to find a 6 ohm speaker. You can't use an 8 and you can't use a 4, or you're going to screw up your amp. You will cook your amp, trust me. So you got to stick with a 6 ohm speaker. Or you can have a cab tying two speakers at the same ohmage to give you a 6 ohm load. You could do that, so that you could actually, you know, just bypass the cables and go direct out to a cab that way. You could do that as long as your ohmage stays the same, whichever way you're wiring your speakers. Anyways, 3-band EQ with mid-shift, 2 channels, no effects of course, 10-inch 20 watt 6 ohm speaker. The dimensions of this are 15.2 inches by 7.8 inches by 15.1 inches. And this thing weighs 15.92 pounds. So it's not overly heavy, it's not overly light, but hey, you know what? It's still about half the weight of my Katana, so that's actually pretty good. My Katana's a big bro because it's a 100 watt beast. But as far as levels go here, they say duration per day of hours, sound level dB from 90 dB to 103 dB. So yes, you can definitely hurt your ears with this thing. So yeah, wear hearing protection unless you don't care about going deaf later on in life. And so there they've listed, they've got a head with a cab, they've got a couple different beasties here, and of course you got your G20, your G35, G10, and so on. And they call them lead series guitar amps. And I like it. I think it's really good. I'm going to do some further testing, of course, with this guitar. I'm going to do more testing with the Jackson when I get some real good fresh strings on it and get them stretched in. I'm going to try some different settings that they suggest, and for the genres that they list in there, like the country rhythm and all that jazz. I want to see too which guitar is going to have the cleanest clean tone. That is really clean though. Like even on the neck, that's clean. And there are a lot of amps that can make your pickups sound very muddy. You know, so, I mean, there is a lot to be said about having the right amp for your guitar so that they match, you know, well enough together. So pickups do make a massive difference in your tone, even one amp to another. Like this guitar is actually sounding quite nice on this, where it also sounds awesome on the Boss, right? The Gretsch has the perfect pickups in it, in my opinion, for the acoustic simulator on the Boss. You know, whereas I don't know how it would react with this amp with these pickups. Who knows? I don't have an acoustic sim to test out. But you know, for $100, I mean, that's really good. You get a lot for $100 for a 20-watt amp. And 20 watts is more than enough power to even overtake an acoustic drummer without even thinking twice about it. I've done it on 12 watts, full band actually, back in the 80s. Me and some guys in high school, we had an actual band. And so we had me and the lead player, both on PV Edition 20 amps, which were 12-watt amps. We had an acoustic drummer with a big kit, and then our keyboard player, bass, that sort of thing. So full-fledged out band. Of course, our main leader, he was lead guitarist, I was rhythm. I was a rhythm guy because I didn't do lead back then. I'm still kind of a little iffy on the whole lead stuff. Getting there though, takes practice, time. But this will certainly compete and go over top of an acoustic drum kit without even thinking twice about it. So that's good. You've got plenty of power, and like I said, you can also alter tonal ranges more because it is an open back design. You can lean it up against a wall. You can put it closer to the wall, further away from the wall, point it in different directions to actually change the entire tonal response of the amp. So it, depending on how you have it set up in your room, will depend on, you know, maybe it might sound muddy to you, but you can clean up that tone by maybe moving it somewhere. Maybe even just throw it on an amp stand like I did with my Katana. So you can also get the speaker at ear level too, which is kind of an important thing to hear your amp right. So, but anyways, that's what I've got for you. It's $100 at Long & McQuaid. They have a couple more left in stock at North Bay, so if you do live in North Bay area, because I know I do have a lot of North Bay subscribers, do take a look at this thing yourself. Bring your axe with you, which is the most important thing, you know, when you're going to check out an amplifier, so you can hear your guitar on the amp and do your best to get it ear level. What I had done in the store was this was on the floor, so I just cocked it up against the shelf like this so that I could get the sound to project to me. And I tried the distortion channel and the clean channel, and I was really impressed with this thing, with the Jackson even having dead strings. So with some lively strings, should sound even better. So we'll do some testing for that, guys. And I will come back with a review based on all my findings with this. But for now, I'm definitely saying you cannot go wrong either way for $100. I mean, I've seen amps that were less than this that cost more. And I mean, they were a lot less. I mean, small speakers, less wattage, you know, just, this is pretty decent size, and a 10-inch speaker in there and 20 watts of horsepower. That's pretty respectable for a $100 bill, I gotta tell you. So far things are looking up really good, you know, like I said. But again, this is not for acoustic guitars. It will sound terrible. And if you want to know just how terrible, let's cover that right now, because I know somebody's going to be like, can you do a video of it being into an acoustic even though it's not supposed to be? Well, let's just save all that now. So of course we do want clean. I can hear right now, you may not hear it on the video, but I can hear it sounds a little fuzzy, almost like borderline distorting. And this thing is like only like 9 o'clock on the dial. It's barely even up there. And my EQ is like bass, mid, and treble are all in the middle. And here's the guitar just by itself. This is my Epiphone EJ200 as well, in case you're wondering what guitar it is. That's really mudded up too, I find. Let's put that mid sweep on. That actually cleaned it up a bit. I find it a very hollowy sound, so definitely not for acoustic guitars. So now you know it actually sounds really bad with plugging an acoustic guitar into an amp that is strictly for electrics only. At least my Katana is specifically designed to handle acoustics or electrics because it has an acoustic preamp. This thing does not, and it doesn't sound right. It sounds actually quite gross to me with an acoustic in it. However, if you guys want to give some preliminary opinions of what you think about this amp based on what you've heard, do leave your comments down below. Also, check the link out in the video description. There will be a link to Long & McQuade's website, so if you are actually interested in this amp, I'm pretty sure you can order it right off their website, providing they have stock online, of course. I don't know what's up there. Like I said, I hadn't seen this brand until today. This was my first time seeing it, and the manager says, I got something, maybe you can check this out, because he didn't have the box in, and I like it. But like I said, I'm still going to check the box out, and I still might buy the box anyways. We'll have to see. I'm actually going to look at some YouTube videos on that box amp first, and that might help me. Because the box amp is like $109.99, so $110 Canadian. But for $100 Canadian, I'm like, yeah, that's twice the wattage of the box, and it actually sounds quite good. So anyway, the link will be there if you're interested. In the meantime, also do stay tuned for my review. When I do have the opportunity to crank this thing up quite loud, I will do a video for that as well for you guys, so you can hear what it sounds like at a much louder volume level, because I'm kind of curious too of what volume level stage we're going to get to on the clean channel before it breaks up and becomes useless to what you would call a natural overdrive. I like to just see how far it can go and still stay perfectly clean. And then of course the gain channel will do that too, and see how much more dirty it can get with higher volume. Because as you start to raise the volume of an amp, you start peaking it out, so that means you can actually achieve more than what's actually there at the time. So we'll definitely look into that for sure. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do so, and stay tuned for more. I will have more gear videos for you guys. I have some plans. Gibson month is coming to Long McQuade this April of 2021, and Kevy is definitely looking at some toys, and we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, I am going to go play some more, so see ya.